Hello, my name is Hanna Fiene, and I wish to tell you about the novel 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. As a teen, I struggled with depression. I struggled with this because I was bullied by my peers because of my weight, and I was sexually assaulted when they spread rumors that I stuffed my bra. As we all know, bullying is an excessive problem in America's public schools. This problem was finally being appropriately addressed by teachers and administrators after the fact that I had graduated, and the bullying would be over for me. I was relieved, but at the same time frustrated. I was relieved because finally, the bullied children's voices would be heard. I was frustrated because it felt it took too long to become the forefront problem in public schools. While going through school, I felt it was one of the largest problems that needed to be dealt with, but no one would listen to me. School counselors would tell me this would pass. Teachers would explain it's just what kids do. My mother would try to help by saying, "They're just jealous of you." But unfortunately, not any of these reasons as to why my peers bullied me ever truly helped. I was frustrated, and to my dismay, sometimes suicidal. Luckily, my mother paid attention to my signs of depression and suicidal thoughts, and addressed them the best way she could, by being the best mother in the world. Due to the caring touch of my friends and family, I was able to graduate without a suicidal scratch on me. Unfortunately, my story is not a common one. Many parents and teachers ignore these signs and end up with a student or child who took his or her own life. In my eyes, when a child commits suicide because of bullying, I don't think it was suicide. No, in my eyes, that child was murdered. Murdered by hurtful words and peers who fail to see the good in others. In high school, these thoughts ran about my teenage brain when one day I came across one of the most amazing and telling, sad and emotional novels I have ever graced my eyes. J. Asher's 13 Reasons Why is, hands down, the best fictional dramatic book I have ever read. I cried, I sobbed, I felt something different than an empty abyss when I read this book. I felt a commonplace with the main character. I felt safe. While reading this tragic yet amazing tale, I learned to love my life and love everyone else who encircled it. To give you some background, 13 Reasons Why was written by J. Asher and published in 2007 by Razorbill. In the past, the author J. Asher has worked in countless bookstores and has always possessed a love for writing. Asher is also the author of The Future of Us. 13 has achieved much recognition. It hit number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list in 2009. The Young Adult Library Services Association, also known as YALSA, has picked 13 Reasons Why as one of their best books for young adults, and quick picks for reluctant readers. 13 has also been recognized as Barnes & Noble's top 10 best for teens. Among others, 13 has won state awards in Florida, Kansas, and Kentucky. All in all, 13 Reasons Why has achieved much when it comes to literary recognition. Now to give you the reasons why 13 Reasons Why is such an amazing novel. 13 Reasons Why takes place in an unnamed American town. The story begins with Clay Jensen, our main character, finding a package on his front doorstep. Upon opening the package, Clay discovers several cassette tapes. Clay finds a stereo to put the first cassette tape in. Startled, Clay hears the voice of his classmate and crush, Hanna Baker, a girl who had committed suicide 2 weeks earlier. Upon listening to the cassette tapes, Clay discovers that before her planned suicide, Hanna recorded herself on 13 different tapes explaining the 13 reasons why she was going to commit suicide. Upon listening further, Clay learns that there are 13 people who are the reasons why she took her own life. And if that person was listening to these tapes, they were one of those reasons. Eventually, Clay connects the dots and realizes he is one of those reasons she was dead. Clay continues through the tapes that chronicle Hanna's tragic fall into depression. Clay wonders how he could have been one of the reasons Hanna had taken her life. Clay had a crush on Hanna and was himself saddened upon finding out she had committed suicide. Listening to Hanna's tapes on an old dusty Walkman, Clay walks about town to become a first-hand witness to Hanna's pain with her as his guide. Although Hanna has passed, Asher writes in such a way as if Hanna was still alive, at Clay's side. One of my favorite instances in this novel is when Hanna reveals why Clay is one of the reasons for her death. I don't wish to give this away. Let's just say this reason is bittersweet. Clay is so heartbroken by Hanna's death. I felt heartbroken for him. I wanted to revive Hanna, to bring her back, take her pain away, just as Clay had wanted. But unfortunately it was too late. In the end, the truth of Hanna's death is revealed, and Clay is forced to face a truth about himself that he never wished to face before. This book is an emotional journey for me, and I assume for other readers as well. Before reading 13 Reasons Why, I never thought about what massive effect I had on others. Clay had no clue that he could be one of the triggers for a death. This book made me change my ways when it came to simple conversation with friends. I don't want to be the straw that broke the camel's back. I no longer throw around people's feelings. I feel like I'm more considerate of them. 13 Reasons Why is the main reason why I have grown into a kinder and more considerate person.